You know, when you hear people say, let kids be kids in public, or kids deserve to be in public, I completely agree with that, but I think there's more layers to that. I think that moms and children should be out in the world with their kids, absolutely, but I don't think that we deserve to be there any more than anybody else deserves to be there. Meaning, we're not going to go somewhere and just bulldoze our way through. Our kids stand up on their chairs and sprint around the table and et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is not coming from a holier than thou place. This is coming from somebody who has 3 little boys who have a lot of gross motor energy pent up, and I know that they need lots of wiggle breaks. I know we need room to say yes and opportunity to move our bodies in a way that works for our setting, ourselves, respecting them developmentally and the people around us. Meaning, that is our inclination. That is what we want to do when we're out. My boys do. So I get it. When you're thinking about what kind of expectations you want for your children when you're in adult setting, always teaching from the natural cues in the environment. So when you walk into a setting, you subconsciously, as an adult now, you pick up on what the vibe is. Are we using inside voices? Is it a place where we can move our body? Are people with AirPods in working? Is there open space and free conversation with louder voices? You let the environment tell you what is expected of you to work together to be in a community, you know? Same goes when we're teaching your kids out in public. You might say something like, listen to everybody else's voice in here. The outside voices, or are we using inside voices? They might say inside voices, and you say, great, just like I'm using. Can you match my voice? You give them some feedback and you're like, great job, that's the voice we need to use. Maybe you're talking about what your feet should be doing. Look at everybody's feet around here. Are we using running feet, or are we using walking feet? Something helpful when you're teaching actually in the setting. This is different than prepping them before you go in on expectations of what's actually going to be in the environment, or expectations of what you expect from their bodies. It's also different from you recognizing that we have a finite time to stay focused or stay still, so understanding how to put boundaries around being wiggly in public. Even if you're in adult settings, you can still respect the people around you, and you can still match the vibe, and you can still get wiggles out. There's ways to do it. And I can chat about that another time. I feel like that's helpful if you're actually in the setting and you're like, I don't know how to teach boundaries. Because the end goal is for them to be prompted by their environment and not you just telling them what to do all the time. And most importantly, this just comes as they get older too. But especially when you're just trying to teach little toddlers out that require a lot of you and a lot of instruction and a lot of reminders out in public, it can be a helpful tool. And it's not ever going to be perfect. I mean, when I hear let kids be kids, it's not let them run the place. It's have society also give them grace to being like, they're still learning, and also seeing mom or parent or whatever helping them learn. So a whole other conversation is, because here in America, kids and families aren't out in adult settings a whole lot of times because we're siloed into these very specific places of society like that doesn't have kids, doesn't really know the difference between, wow, that was really rambunctious behavior that kind of crossed some boundaries, versus, no, that's just really kids being kids because they're being heard and seen and happy in their own space, and you're in your own space.